All right, members of the council, the time is 10:12. I'd like to do the roll call, then I'll do the opening prayer. I don't know if Haipa and Lake Travis will be online appearing, but we'd like to. But is this going to be short what we're asking for? And as you know, that James issue too. So we might go into exec session because it's personnel. And we want to talk about our face mask policy, if I remember right. And with that, I'm going to turn it to Verlin to do our roll call.
Curtis Bissonette. Winfield Rondell Jr. Milton Owen. Cheryl Owen,
Here.
Lisa Jackson,
Here.
Louis Johnson, Francis Crawford, Tribal Secretary.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Did you want it or you want to? Ate Wakantaka, Nino Wopida Tanka for allowing us to come together in a good way for the decisions for what is best for our community on the SW and off reservation. Takashina asked that you just be with our council members here, the decision makers, the lawmakers, and the execs, the administrators. And down, I asked you just be with the respected 7 districts that represent SWO. I continue to ask all the frontline workers out there in the community that are on their best and what they have. I ask that you just be with them, continue to be that fire with them, and that they have that support, knowing that they have the support for the community and us leaders as tribal leaders. I ask you to just be with our lawyers that continue to protect the tribe in a good way. I ask that you to be with our council rep, Cheryl Owen, especially her sister Bonnie out there that's struggling right now, that's been hurt. It's eye-opening that we need to look at that issue, and we need the support of the council and the execs as we move forward as leadership. I ask you to be with everybody that's good way, especially the ones that are Terry that's helping with our tribal members with lights, electricities, whatever bills that may come up, and that we continue as leadership make these decisions in a good way as we continue to go. I ask all this in a humble way. Hope Madakia was. Are they going to be coming? Are they calling in?
I don't know. It's
Okay.
in case they do.
Before we get Mr. Bird's issue, I know the execs went in, we had a meeting yesterday, and I don't know if we need the council support, probably we do. But as execs, we decided that because of the COVID, we wanted to be having, if you guys could help me, that all employees are mandated for wearing face masks for protection of each other and everybody that comes in. And that would continue the face mask as well. Our security, we have face masks available for our visitors that come in. If we have visitors that come in, continue to have the managers screen those as they make visitations to our programs. This is for safety purposes. On the other hand, that we wanted your guys' support is because you guys on the for-profit board members, is that if we want it for our tribal employees, we would want it across the board. Schools, our for-profit, our moneymakers out there, out to our tribal stores. So we could do it administrative-wise, but we need the help for your guys' support. That I don't know if you need we'll probably need a motion from you guys to wear our face masks to protect each other and protect the workers. That's one of the things that we brought up. And we'd like to try that right away, if possible. So if you guys are in agreement, if you guys want discussions on it, the floor is open for council for discussion. Curtis, the floor is yours for discussion.
I thought we already did this to see what their plans were, and our for-profits had to come up with plans on how they were going to take precautions when they opened up, so I thought it was done already.
I know, no.
I don't know if it's consistent. I don't know if we required it. I don't think we made it a requirement that the employees have to wear masks. So
I know,
they
Chris-
must be doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah,
So you want consistency, right?
yeah, requirements. And as far as in the past, I think what Christine said too, because she researched it, it wasn't a requirement.
You're just looking for a motion to require masks for all of tribal entities?
Yeah, straight across the board, because that would take a council motion.
I'll make that motion.
So moved by Iagapta,
I'll second.
second by Tokunowa. Question, Louis Johnson. Call for
Is that
vote?
For all entities?
Yes, sir.
Lisa Jackson,
Yes.
Louis Johnson. Curtis Bissonette. Milton Owen. Cheryl Owen. Tribal Vice Chairman. Tribal Secretary. Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members of the council and execs, for your support. Thank you. And the other issue with, I'd like to go into exec session with Mr. Byrd from Fuel Inc. This is personnel issues. Moved by Cheryl, representing Emmy Swim. Second. Or not Big Cooley, Old Agency, sorry about that. I know. She was pointing to. I apologize for the listeners out there.
We'll take, yeah.
Question, Madam Secretary.
Cheryl Owen. Yes. Lisa Jackson.
Yes.
Louis Johnson. Curtis Bissonette.
Yes.
Milton Owen. Tribal Vice Chairman. Tribal Secretary. Mr. Chairman, the recorder is off.
Thank you.
Traditional, we're set to go. Dakota Hook time, we're turning over to you. Tell your story, gentlemen. This is your time. Set up final go around. Good luck.
Hey!
If you would. One more intertribal coming your way, dancers. Whitetail boys, we turn it over to you. Let's get them dancing. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Here we go. Singing judge is going to come and see us. In the meantime, we're back to song number 2, Northern Wind. We're ready to go. Up this time. contest on the floor. Bat Nation, let's get 'em dancing. Semifinal contest go on. Good luck, ladies. Tokaha. That was song number one, ladies and gentlemen. How about a big round of applause? We're set to go. Little Thunder, take it away. Contest match. Chuck Station. Here we go. Inner travel time. I got Thompson Arena that we are calling home for these next 3 days. We are on the second day, so at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we go to our grand entry song. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are able, 850 dancers will be coming into our arena. We welcome you. Welcome to a beautiful day. Oh, ha, host drum, back to the ring.
made the motion by Tribal Secretary, second by Jaipa, question by Emily Swim to come out of exec meeting. Exec
Tribal
session.
Secretary? Curtis Bissonette?
Yes.
Winfield Rondell Jr.? Milton Owen? Cheryl Owen?
Yes.
Lisa Jackson?
Yes.
Louis Johnson? Francis Crawford? Tribal Vice Chairman? Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you. Let me see what's, is there anything for council for Mr. Byrd? Are we on?
Yes.
We can't be on. The green light on?
Press it. Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, Mr. Chairman and Tribal Council, and good to see you all. We had a pretty good community meeting yesterday, a lot of dialogue about the project. Basically, last time when I was out here with IDS plus A, the A&E contractor, they informed us that we're likely to have a higher cost per square foot on construction, so that was going to require us to take a look for more money. We have a plan that she's going to return after our meeting last month, and bring back changes to the plan that she presented. We also sent her the plan for Faulkton, and she's looking at that to modify that so that it would meet the requirements of the Bureau regulations and our contract. So we're planning to have her come on the 19th and then stay over for the morning of the 20th, because Gary said that he's not available on the 19th, but maybe she can make the presentation here with council, and we'll do a working session with Gary on the morning of the 20th and make sure that, the plan is modified to meet his specifications. This kind of cost overrun situation is partly the problem of a low estimate, by the BIA when we started, and now construction costs have also risen. So we're looking to move forward with the time frame that we're on, which is basically to finish the 20% conceptual and get approval from the BIA for that conceptual design in October, so that we can go out, and there's a design bid component to the contract. So there's A&E and construction contemplated to be as one, and to put that out and get those folks hired on, and they finish the plan, and then they are intended to start construction in the spring. So we have to look to additional sources for funding. So right now what's still pending is FY 2021. Based on our prior requests, they did raise the amount of construction funds available last year from 18 million to 25 million, and they maintained that level. So we need to get a direction that the Bureau should provide funding necessary to finish the projects that are already in progress for 27 and 2018, and provide additional funds to do that from the Senate. Then they conference the bill. So what's going to happen to us in the timeline on FY 2021, that funding starts October 1st, but you know how it goes. They're going to come back after Labor Day, and they're going to do a continuing resolution. And that continuing resolution will continue it till after the election, and depending on the election, they either finish up the continuing resolution and do the budget then, or they kick it over to the new Congress in February. In either event, we should know if we're making progress on that before that. So there's also an option as they look for infrastructure funding. They're still going to look for infrastructure funding. They didn't get to do that. There's an option to look at that. And finally, we did talk about the option of looking for some kind of bonding. Right now, under the COVID USDA programs, they're doing 1% for 40 years for infrastructure. We should see if we can do something with that program, or work on something for a similar program. There's a economic stabilization fund. We have put in a request under that stabilization fund for tribal governments to be able to issue bonds. That's only a 10-year thing that we're looking for, but that would again be about 1%. So I think we have to be, we're sort of like a layer cake. We're going to have to look at all of these options and see where we're most successful, because we don't want to slow down the project or move off our track. We want to be in a construction season for the spring. So we did talk to some of the other tribes, and I got word back from Hopi, that they're interested in seeking to increase funding to make up for the shortfall, and that their senators are interested in working with our senators to do that. So we'll follow up with that. So as far as scheduling, I need to just be sure and check in with you that it's going to work out for you to have the A&E people here, on the 19th, and then to follow up with a meeting with Gary, on the morning and early afternoon of the 20th. So we can just work that through, make sure we're on the right track with our design, and that we have what's going to work for us, and figure out how to push forward so we're going to stay on our schedule.
Any discussion, council? Any from our legal in the back there? We're all on the same page? All right,
Okay, and I'll stay in touch with Kim.
thank you.
Let me mention one more thing before I go. There's been a lot of dialogue, and this is not only a Democratic issue, but also Tim Scott brought it forward for the Republicans on police reform. And so we're in a little bit of a different place, maybe, on police reform than other communities, because we've never had enough funding for law enforcement. But they're going to come to funding for police. If Biden wins, they're going to do a big law enforcement package and police at the start of the next Congress. They do have a bill pending now in the House, H.R. 7120, which is the sort of the Black Lives Matter focus, and Karen Bass, the head of the Congressional Black Caucus, is carrying that. And what that does is it outlaws chokeholds and puts restrictions on use of force, use of deadly force, and it tries to get community organizations involved in oversight of the police, and it includes the National Tribal Chief of Police Organization, and it includes NCAI as kind of a watchdog reporting organization, and it includes the Office of Tribal Justice at the Department of Justice. I don't know that those bills are going to move in this Congress now, because there's very little that's going to move that doesn't absolutely have to move. So they're still working on that coronavirus relief fund bill, the next bill, and they'll come back to that in September and see whether they have a deal or no deal. They're going to look at post office funding. The Democrats really want to push post office funding, and they're alarmed by President Trump's dialogue about mail-in ballots. So that's going to come back in September, but it's really the coronavirus relief and the CR that's going to move. But we should look towards the police reform, because this is an opportunity for us to think about traditional peacekeeping, traditional peacemaking, restorative justice, and some of our models that have already been in place but haven't been adequately funded. And it's also an opportunity to look for sort of a therapeutic model of law enforcement. So the mayors are out today, and they've got their National Association of Mayors, and there's 7,000 cities. They have a kind of a list, and their top of their list is sort of reimagining the role of the police in the community. And they're wanting to be sort of a more helpful outreach, rather than, they sort of got a little bit too militarized, especially in the big cities. So they're thinking about that, and that's going to bring on all of these issues that are relevant to us with the Justice Center, because we're going to need to think more about rehabilitation and treatment, and look for resources there. And the additional infrastructure is still going to be on the table with the new administration. So maybe as part of our meeting with Jan, next week, we should take a look at what the cities and some of the other folks are thinking and start that dialogue about what position, the tribe wants to take and kind of have a concept paper. Because on the Democratic side, they're going to have vice president candidate be the outreach for people of color and for sort of policy on that front. And, she's got the law enforcement background as an attorney general. So I think those are worthwhile places for us to be engaged. And we should also think about, if we have people that if the administration does turn around, if we have people that we want to get in various positions, whether it's USDA Rural Economic Development or, something else. So those are all going to be coming up, and we can talk about that in a little bit more detail next week. So,
All right.
okay, thanks for having me. I know you're very busy. Appreciate the time.
And we also appreciate you because you're very busy too and always were there for the council in the past. And I look forward to working with you and moving on too on my behalf. We appreciate you. Thank you. Lisa, before I get to Madam Secretary.
I'm just going to do the amendment.
Okay, the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to the motion that was made on August 14th, 2020, to clarify Stephen Gunn's contract and addendum, I'd like to make a motion to Amendment 1, Section 1, to read, Section 1, Legal Services of the Attorney Contract as amended shall be amended to include a new subsection D, which shall read, it is entirely as follows. D, work with the tribe's non-gaming for-profit business entities to attempt to resolve any outstanding federal or state tax liability issues, including but not limited to IRS Form 941, employment tax liability issues, and state sales tax liability issues.
Okay, I got a question over here, Vice Chairman.
Steve, can we clarify this? You're not going to be doing the accounting part of it, right?
No, I will not do any, I don't want to duplicate work that anyone else is already doing on an accounting side. But from the legal
This is-
services side,
Negotiating fees and all that stuff.
you're going to have to file offers in compromise if there are outstanding federal liability issues, and then you're going to have to negotiate with the state if there are any outstanding state issues. And I'll learn what issues there are, and I'll report back to you, but I don't want to duplicate the accounting work.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, can also include in the motion that you be the signature authority to this contract addendum.
Motion on the floor by Iagapta, second by Haipa. Question by Tokunoa.
Lisa Jackson?
Yes.
Louis Johnson? Francis Crawford?
Yes.
Curtis Bissonette?
Yes.
Winfield Rondell Jr.?
Yes.
Milton Owen? Cheryl Owen? Yes. Tribal Vice Chairman?
Yes.
Tribal Secretary? Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members of council and execs. Mr. Gunn, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
We have something else?
We got Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary, you got the floor.
Okay, good morning again. I want to refer back to the Special Tribal Council minutes of Friday, August 7th, page 7, motion number 72. And I want to make a motion to rescind motion number 72, approving the addendum to the special consulting contract with MJR Business Advisors, because it was way outdated, and after I gave it more thought, and then just reaffirming that this morning, is it's not good practice to go backwards that far and approve addendums to contracts that are that outdated. So that's my motion. I'm making a motion to rescind motion number 72 dated August 7th, 2020.
Motion on the floor.
Second.
Second, Curtis from Long Hollow. Question over by Lake Travis, you got the floor.
The actual motion was to approve an addendum to the special consulting contract with MJR Business Advisors for additional billable hours as presented by Michael Roberts.
After the Lake Travis, I'll give the floor over to Iya Gapta.
Okay, because you opposed this motion in the first place, and it barely passed with my vote, and after much thought about it, and then again hearing this morning that it's not good practice to go back and do these addendums, because he had wanted to get paid $56,000, and so that's my motion.
Iya Gapta, you wanted discussion?
Yes.
The floor is yours.
I'd like discussion on that, because at the time when he was doing these services for us, he was meeting with us and he was updating us regularly, and asking if we wanted him to do the next thing and we gave him verbal approval to do that and to get those services done, and he did them. The amendment to his contract had to go through legal for those instances where we authorized him verbally to proceed with his services. Legal did the addendum. It was submitted to our executives, but it got stopped there and never presented to council. He had submitted it on 3 separate occasions via email, requesting that addendum come before council, and it never did. So he brought it before us a few days ago, which is the motion that Madam Secretary is referencing to. So he has worked in good faith. We gave him verbal authorization. Legal did their part, made the addendum to his contract, but it was just never presented to us for our approval until just the other day, which is motion 72. And this was prior to him being the planning director. So everything was done. He did the work. He presented it, laid it out here, showed his work product. It was done. We gave verbal approval for him to move on all of that.
Iya Gapta. Floor is still yours. Lisa.
I'm done. Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm going to turn the floor over to Lake Travis. Lake Travis, can you speak into your mic, please? So
That was
there's
when
people-
he was supposed to come in and do the baseline feasibility studies for all of our for-profits. So we understood where we were, because Old Agency, C-Store, there was a few of our for-profits that had not been auditable since 2015. And that was our priority when we came in as council, that we were going to get these baseline, these financials assessed. We were going to get them to that place where they're audit ready. And that's what he was assigned. His contract was very detailed and measurable. His goals and objectives are measurable. As he completed one task, he presented to us and asked if we wanted him to proceed with the next, which we did. and those amendments were done by legal, and was to be presented for our approval, but once again, like I said, they were just never presented to us. For whatever reasons, he submitted it on 3 different occasions, and it wasn't presented to us until just the other day. With
Is this the same contract that DCA came in to terminate him on?
Yes.
Okay.
And then even after that termination, he still did pro bono 22 hours to finish his work product that he had been working on, even though his contract had ended. And he documented that as well.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay. Any other discussion? Curtis, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, to me, this should have all been taken care of with the former chairman. If this was an issue, it should have been dealt with back then. But I find it kind of odd that it comes up now. And for what reason, I don't know, but I don't know what the big push is for, but it should have been dealt with back then. So, thank you.
Tokunoa, you have the floor.
I thought we just talked about fairness and work. To me, he did what he was told to do. And he should get paid for it. Like Cooley said, there was reasons why it was stopped 3 times. And could blame the last chairman, but it was presented. So to me, it just looks like it was just held up. And COVID hit. Just like the other issue we were describing, talking about. But I think we should be fair. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative from Tokunoa. Any other discussion? Only thing is, I just want to put out there too is the chairman coming in too with our, I'm not getting after anybody, just reminding everybody that when we have issues like that, when you cast your vote, make sure you're aware of that so we don't backpedal. And just ask for clarification in your before you even make your motion. If you're not clear, that's what the recording secretary is for, so you can repeat that back. So just in the future, for everybody, so. If no discussion, was there a question to that? No. Okay. Call for question. Question, my old agency.
Tribal Secretary,
Yes.
Curtis Bissonette. Yes. Winfield Rondell Jr. No. Milton Owen. Yes. Cheryl Owen.
No.
Lisa Jackson.
No.
Louis Johnson. Yes. Francis Crawford.
Yes.
Tribal Vice Chairman. Yes. Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members of the council and execs. I'm going to turn the floor over to Iya Gapta. She has her hand up.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to have MJR's contract be reviewed by legal for finding of merit to his request that his contract be honored.
With our new legal,
Yes, with
That's
the
coming on.
legal Kim,
Ms. Kim Craven.
Miss Kim Craven. Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's my motion.
Motion on the floor by Iya Gapta,
Second.
second by Tokunoa. Question by Haipa.
Lisa Jackson.
Yes.
Louis Johnson. Francis Crawford.
No.
Curtis Bissonette. Winfield Rondell Jr. Yes. Milton Owen. Cheryl Owen.
Yes.
Tribal Vice Chairman. Tribal Secretary.
No.
Mr. Chairman, the motion is defeated.
Thank you, members of the council and executives. Any further issues that council wants to present, or if not, we're gonna, sorry about that. Vice Chairman had one.
Hey, Council, I got some budgets here. One is the Native Connection funds from MSPI for $97,402.
Motion to approve.
So moved by Madam Secretary.
I'll second if,
Second.
I got a question too.
Second, but Curtis has a question on it. You have the floor for discussion.
It's a grant? Okay, I'll second.
Okay, second. Question by Haipa.
Tribal Secretary?
Yes.
Curtis Bissonette?
Yes.
Winfield Rondell Jr.? Milton Owen? Cheryl Owen?
Yes.
Lisa Jackson?
Yes.
Louis Johnson? Francis Crawford?
Yes.
Tribal Vice Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members of council and execs.
And then there's another grant for MSPI, the Behavioral Health Department, for $177,400. It's a carryover of $27,400, and allocated amount is $150,000.
Sorry, what was that amount again, Mr.?
Total is $177,400.
Okay. Motion.
So moved by Curtis from Long Hollow, second by Ole Agency. Question by Madam Secretary.
Curtis Bissonette?
Yes.
Winfield Rondell Jr.? Milton Owen? Cheryl Owen? Lisa Jackson?
Yes.
Louis Johnson? Francis Crawford?
Yes.
Tribal Vice Chairman?
Yes.
Tribal Secretary?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members, of council, execs.
And then the last one is law enforcement fundraiser revenue, $2,210.
Increase that by that.
Oh, Lisa, you got the floor.
To increase by that amount?
It looks like they're just starting this budget so they can put it in their supplies to do fundraisers.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
So moved by Iagapta, second by Lake Traverse. Question, we got Louis Johnson.
Lisa Jackson?
Yes.
Louis Johnson? Francis Crawford?
Yes.
Curtis Bissonette? Winfield Rondell Jr.? Milton Owen? Cheryl Owen? Tribal Vice Chairman? Tribal Secretary?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members of council and execs. I think Haipa had his hand raised before, the vice chair. Your mic. Mike. Thank you, Junior.
Mr. Van Norman was talking about police reform and Black Lives Matter, and those aren't necessarily our issues. Ours are, we never had enough funds for our police, nor did we ever have enough officers. Also, another issue that we had was the jurisdiction. When we had black man, white man, Mexican man coming into our country, making whatever meth or whatever they were manufacturing, we had no jurisdiction over them. So those are our issues, and they're different than what's happening out there. So I think we need to keep in mind that we need more funding so that we can hire the officers we need to keep our community safe. And we also need to keep in mind about the jurisdiction. We need that to be able to keep our members safe. when we arrest them, they go to jail. Not that when we arrest them, then we gotta let them go. That didn't help us. Prior examples out west, they would do that on one res. They couldn't do anything to them. They would let them go. They would go over to the next res and do the same thing. So those are our issues. Ours ain't chokehold or, knee on the neck. Ours are different. And so we need to keep those in mind. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Haipa. I'm going to go off on what you were talking about too. I want to expand on that in the past too. There were some issues of non-tribal members, which the Washichus are stalking our tribal members, our female tribal members. And we need all to work together and support if it's tribal secretaries program, our programs, law enforcement programs, vice chair. We need to set up some codes. I know Lisa's on the judicial to better protect our tribal members out there. I know there was a case of, and there's a lot of women that came up forward and asking support from law enforcement about that issue. And another one, there was that guy that was driving around that bus over, I forgot what district it was, some kind of guy that was spreading some kind of, what was it? Long Hollow. Spreading, he was here just to hurt our community. We need laws on that to protect our community members. Examples like that, and I appreciate you bringing it up, Junior. Gapta, floor is yours.
Yes, Junior, thank you for bringing that point up. And you also, Mr. Chairman, I do believe Paulson is supposed to be working on our banishment code because we were going to put some language in there. So I know that's on the agenda there.
Is there a time frame on that?
I'm not sure.
Couldn't we put a time frame on that so we could get that ready so we don't have to wait around?
Sure. Do we need that motion form?
Yes, ma'am.
Before that, Mr. Chairman, I agree with Junior 100% that the, chokeholds, we don't operate like that. But one thing I am concerned of, and I'd like for us to maybe keep an eye on in this bill, is the use of deadly force. What type of restrictions they are actually putting on law enforcement, because sometimes there is a certain level of force that is needed for our officers' safety. So maybe if Mark Van Norman can take a look at that and see what type of restrictions are coming out for law enforcement so that we can review that ourselves. Me, I'm always going to be for officer safety and officers responding accordingly when their life or any members of our community are in immediate harm or danger. So if we can get Mark Van Norman to pay attention to that part of it, that stood out to me in what he said earlier.
I agree.
Did we need a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that Greg Paulson present to council his revisions to the banishment code in regard to non-members and violence against our members.
Motion on the floor by Gapta.
Question.
Second by Tokunawa. Question by Haipa.
Did that be presented by the end of
Okay.
September? Yep.
Can you?
Yeah, Greg Paulson was working.
Yep. So this is just to put a timeline on him, so probably no later than the end of September. Okay, well then he could present it to council
Yep.
no later than September.
So it won't be dragged out.
Yes.
Can you repeat your motion again?
Yes. My motion is to have Greg Paulson present to council his revisions to the banishment code in regards to violence against our members by non-members, and that this be presented to council no later than September 2020.
Okay. Any more discussion, council? Call for vote.
Lisa Jackson,
Yes.
Louis Johnson, Francis Crawford,
Yes.
Curtis Bissonnette, Winfield Rondell Jr.,
Yes.
Milton Owen, Cheryl Owen, Tribal Vice Chairman,
Yes.
Tribal Secretary,
Thank
I
you.
want to clarify that this banishment does not include our tribal members. It's only banishment of non-members committing acts of violence against our members.
That's what I stated?
Yes.
Twice, yes.
Yes. I'm clarifying.
Mr. Chairman, the motion passed.
Thank you, members of council and Madam Secretary, for clarifying that motion before you cast your vote.
Did judicial review any of that?
No, because it's still in, legal's still drafting those revisions. We made the motion a while ago for him to do that.
Okay. Yep. Francis, the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary, brings up a good point. We don't want to see our members banished, but in the same sense, our ordinances already have banishment there, if you've been, for like our ingestion laws,
That's true.
so I just wanted to throw it out there, Madam Secretary. Because if you get 3 strikes, you're banished from the tribe for a period, I don't know how.
Until they pay off their $10,000 fine, if that's my understanding with that code. And there's a certain amount of community service hours attached to that. Then they're allowed to come back in good faith. Yeah, it's happening. Coming from tribal courts myself.
Another business, Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn.
So moved by motion to adjourn.
We did that.
We did
We
that.
already did that.
Did that. That's probably from last
Yeah.
meeting, yeah.
Remember, you're on the phone and agreed to that. Oh, second to adjourn by Haipa before you guys go and ends. Say adjourn. So we adjourn.
Are we adjourned? You say it.
We are adjourned.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We got a couple, can you stay on live for us? Because we got a couple announcements, Mr. Radio?